Did not expect it to be so painfully boring. If you wanted to do that with your story, write it to your dang self. You got me heated. People might be upset. Oh my gosh. Now this next review that's 2 stars they basically wrote their own novel in response to this book. After reading, I write this review 3 months after finishing the book to give me the space to think about why I was so disappointed by this book so much. This review is definitely not representative of the majority opinion, and one I never expected to hold before reading this book. Don't get me wrong though, I was so excited about this book as it was the conclusion to what is a wonderful series. Maybe I was expecting too much, or perhaps I have changed as a person since reading the first 3 books. This book fell flat on so many levels. As stunning 827 pages, Winter is a book lover's dream book size. Yes. Especially when the book is, insert positive adjective here. When I found out how long the book was, I was so ready to enjoy and savor each page. Rather, I found myself lost, annoyed, and dissatisfied. I just kind of want to say, like, maybe that's your own problem. The problem lied in that there was too much going on, but that made it action-packed. I don't think there was too much going on. Yes, it was a lot to like keep up with, sure, but it kept the pacing. It just made it a page turner. What Marissa Meyer did with her series is very ambitious, and having like 4 points of view I think is really difficult to pull off. Each character has its own story and mission, and you know, sometimes they're all together, but a lot of times they're like all spread out and stuff. So I mean, I disagree that it's too much going on, but yeah, there is a lot going on. Despite the immense page length, plus because of the cumulative that's a hard word to say, nature of the series, it felt like the 8 main characters were fighting for page time, to the point that no character had much / any development. I disagree, but maybe you could feel that way reading this book. It is a lot of characters to keep up with. The strength of the series lies in characters versus the plot. I mean, I think they're both equally good. I mean, I think the characters are strong, and I feel like the plot is strong. I mean, I guess you could argue that the characters are stronger, maybe, but to say that the characters is the strength, not the plot, I mean, I would argue that characters are more important. Like, if you don't have good characters, the plot doesn't matter, and because of this book, like, the characters are really good, so you know, the plot is also in turn good. But yeah, it's interesting. That's just an interesting point. The strength in a fairy tale comes not from the predictability of the plot, where good will always triumph, but from the characters you meet along the way. I can agree with that. The plot, instead of giving the characters space to grow, become the centerpiece of Winter. Don't get me wrong though, some books can pull off being centered on plot, but Winter is not one of them. This book was supposed to be about Princess Winter based off the title, but was it really though? Yeah, the way I interpreted it, these books, is not necessarily the name of the book is the centerpiece. I view it more as the name of the book is the addition to the story. Winter is becoming a part of the story, but the whole story is about Cinder and like her mission, her goal, her discovery in the first book that makes her go on this journey and eventually choose to go all the way to, is it called Lunar? I don't know. Gosh, what is the name of like the place even called? I can't even remember. To overthrow the evil Queen Lavina or Lavana. I don't even know. It's funny because I've read those characters' names so much, but I don't even know like how you're actually supposed to pronounce their name. But the evil queen, you know who I'm talking about. It's about that. The main storyline, regardless of all of the other characters, is still like they're all working together to help Cinder. They all joined Cinder's group. And I guess that's fair, that's valid. Like, you know, maybe you were hoping to get to know Winter a little bit more, but I feel like her story is explained well enough. I felt satisfied with it, but also this is the conclusion of the book. Like, you have to conclude the book. So he says, but was it really though? Because I clearly did not see it. I loved the character of Princess Winter, but felt like no attention was given at all to her, which I mean, I feel like her backstory is pretty complex, but I think her as a character, you know, because of what she has to deal with of like going crazy, you know, like I think that severely, you know, affects how much of a story you really can do with her. Okay, I'm not gonna read this whole thing because that would take way too long. This person does not like that there ends up being 4 couples at the end, and it felt too constructed and forced. Marissa Meyer gives the people what she wants, okay? We want them all to get the Hallmark ending where they all end up with somebody, okay? Like, I wanted that, and I was happy that she did that, and yes, it's not realistic. You have a problem with that? You don't have a problem with, like, all this science fiction, all this stuff that is made up? Like, you have a problem with 4 people ending up together? All these things that just would not happen, and that's the problem that you have? That is more likely than all these other things that are happening, and you had a problem with that. He also talks about Wolf and said that, like, his character's journey felt anticlimactic. I might have to agree with this a smidgen. Just a smidgen. I think I had different expectations for what was gonna happen with his story too, and what happened definitely was a little bit anticlimactic to me. So I feel like that's actually kind of a fair point. There was this huge build-up throughout the entire novel over Wolf, and then his journey and change ends up not serving any actual purpose or character development. Wolf, the character, fell victim to the plight of plot for plot's sake. This book was essentially a cycle of character being captured and held hostage. Death in books usually need to serve a purpose for me, but there was just so much not senseless death in this book that honestly did not make any sense. Rather than feeling remorse, sadness, regret, etc., I instead felt confusion and had the reaction of, huh? Like, why? There's literal massacre of the lunar people where the violence and death reached a point of ludicrousy. That's how you say that word. Words are hard. Okay, guys, don't make fun of me, please. And even worse, it is not even talked about or a major concern to Cinder or the main characters. Locust? What? The end of the book makes it seem like Lavanna should be dethroned, not because she has committed genocide or tried and successfully killed thousands, if not millions of people through bio-warfare, or even the other countless crimes that she has committed. Nope. Lavanna should be dethroned because she is, wait for it, ugly. Oh. Literally what? You could definitely look at it from that perspective. I feel like it was more of like I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm reading into it too much, but I feel like you could almost interpret it as like revealing who she really is and the kind of horrible person that she really is, taking away her power to make herself look beautiful and perfect. It wasn't just that though. It also was her, like, manipulation was not just people visually seeing her as beautiful. It wasn't just that. It was manipulation of the way that they viewed her as a person. The trust, everything that she built was just manipulation. And so then by the end, she doesn't have that power to manipulate people to like her and to protect her and to support her and to ignore all the atrocities that she's done. I think that is representative of her being ugly. Her manipulation, her powers were more than just brainwashing people into seeing her beautiful. It was brainwashing people into thinking that she was a fair and just ruler that they loved and worshipped. I hope for these people's sake that they might like Stars Above, because Stars Above is like this really adorable, I mean, a part of it I guess is just like a short story, so people might not like that as much. I thought it was really cute, but I think people really want just the main characters, and half of that book is taken away by a short story, so that I could see might upset some people. I also really wanted just more of the characters that I already knew and loved. That book at least gives you just another like satisfying like yes. And then the graphic novels are fun. I don't think the writing is quite as good in those, but they're fun. I don't know, I can't help but feel just like disappointed, like sad for these people. I disagree with them in a lot of ways. Some of the points that they brought up I think were valid criticisms. I mean, they just didn't bother me as much. I guess, you know, everyone's different, and just as certain things people like more than others, other things that annoy someone might annoy someone even more, to the point that it just ruins their experience of the book. So it's unfortunate that that happened with these books for these people. I was expecting more of like a unhinged but I think these people were actually not crazy for some of the criticisms that they had. I just feel like you definitely can't please everyone with the way that you write. I loved these books. I thought this conclusion was absolutely epic. That doesn't mean that the series is flawless. For what it is, like for what Marissa Meyer like wrote, I think is incredibly impressive, and she really, in my opinion, really pulled it off and made an epic conclusion to this book. This is definitely a minority opinion. Let me give you a little bit of statistics. This book has a 4.4 rating on Goodreads and over 260,000 ratings of this book. So I think it's pretty safe to say that this is a good one. Sender definitely has the lowest rating of the series, but after that it just gets better and better and better. But either way, if you haven't read this book, this series, just do it. This is your official, you know, I'm double dog daring you. Read the whole series, just do it. And then if you want to write a 2-star review of why the last book was so long or the first book had like empty characters or whatever, feel free to do that if you want. But by the last book, you'll probably fall in love with the series because there's proof. I revealed it today, the proof that this is a good series, because it can convert people who would give 1-star reviews to the first book and then a 4-star review to the last book. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and this was interesting. I was expecting a little bit more like chaotic vibe from some of these reviews, but they were very polished and well written and had valid arguments for sure. I felt like I was almost in a debate or something, like I was, you know, cross-examining them. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely want to do this again with maybe a more common popular book. I was thinking about doing Harry Potter. Those books in general are just so highly acclaimed by so many people. I would be very intrigued to see what somebody who does not like those books would have to say and what criticisms they would have to say. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys next time. Read a book and bloom on. Bye!